Hey YouTube, how you doing? Kevin here coming at you with another video. So if you're working on a KE100 and you have that style cylinder head right there, this video right here is going to help you out. So your bike would have a blue NGK spark plug in it. It's going to have the letter R on it. And this is not the right plug, but I'll explain to you what the number would be. It's going to say BR8ES. It's a blue writing, BR8ES. This one shows you a number 9. It's a hotter plug. This will work, but it's just hotter. And it has the letter R on it in the blue writing. Not all of the blue writing has the letter R, but there's still the letter R. Okay? If you have this plug, take it out of your bike, dump it in gasoline, light it on fire, and kick it down a hill. It is useless. So, this right here is going to be half your problem if you have a resistor plug. Now let me explain to you what happens. Okay, this is a great plug if you have a car and you have a radio interference. You're going to put a resistor plug in it. Okay, it's going to take care of the sound in the radio. But in a two-stroke, the minute motor oil hits it, goes up in between there. You know, the two-stroke goes in between the electrode. It'll short out the resistor part of this plug. Then your bike will start. It'll run like crap, and then you won't have acceleration, and you'll think you're having a major meltdown or problem. These plugs are bad, and they will leave you stranded on a two-stroke. They're great for four-strokes. However, you can get away with all that by going to a plug that has black lettering, no letter R, and it's going to say B8ES. That's the plug you should be using on your KE100s. There's no resistor in it, and they will go. They will not go. They are just good solid plugs. So the nice thing about the black writing is if you have to pull it out, you can clean it and put it back in. If you clean the blue plug and put it back in, you're still going to have the same problem because you already shorted out the resistor. Now you're asking me, what is a resistor? Okay, well, they're like parts on circuit boards, but there is one in here. There's a electrode that goes from the top all the way through the porcelain, through the steel, comes down, well, it's not through the steel, but through the porcelain that goes through it, right to there. This one has a resistor going from that centerpiece to the ground, okay? When that shorts, you lose spark. You can actually test these with a multimeter, connecting it here and at the tip and seeing if you have continuity. If you have continuity, your plug is also bad. These plugs have given me nothing but a hard time, and trust me when I tell you, I've used a lot of these bikes, and I've been doing it for a long time. This is a bad plug. The plug for your bike is the NGK B8ES. Now, if you guys have a KM, a KD, or a MC1, or even I think the G3s even take this plug. Okay, if you have a BZ7HS10, which is also a resistor plug, take it out of your bike, dump it in gasoline, set it on fire, and kick it down a hill. The plug you're going to be using in that bike is a B7HS. Okay, NGK, black writing. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? If your spark plug is blue, you're going to be blue in the face because you're going to be trying to figure out what the heck's wrong with your bike, and most of the time, 90% of the time, it's your spark plug. Change the spark plug. Get rid of the blue. Go to the black. The R. Get rid of the R. Go to the black NGK, and that's the plug you're going to use. Now, I wanted to show you guys something. Okay, you might notice these big giant taps here. There's two of them. I'll show you what these are for. If you over tighten your spark plug, you're going to strip out the threads. The spark plug's going to keep popping out on you, and you're going to be very upset. So, that's because you're over tightening your spark plugs. There is a torque specification to these. You're going to screw them all the way in until you can't screw them anymore. You're going to use a torque wrench, like I showed you in my other video. You're going to use a torque wrench, and you're going to torque these to 18 to 22 foot-pounds. So you can go either 18 or anywhere between 18 and 22 foot-pounds. Okay, so use a torque wrench, and tighten them down. These heads are only aluminum. You don't need to crank on them. Okay, 18 to 22 foot-pounds is all you need for a spark plug to seat. Okay, if you go over that more, you're gonna have to do what they call a helicoil. So as you can see, it's got the spark plug tap right here. Okay, and then it goes into a bigger thread. You're gonna go all the way through the head with this. You gotta take it off. You gotta take your cylinder head off your motor. Okay, you can actually see in this one. You can see the helicoil. See how it's got new threads. So right there where it ends. That screws in, and then it looks, flat on this end. Right here, you can see where the threads start right there. This head has been, what do you call it there? Has new threads in it. That's what it looks like on the back side. But you can see the thread. You can see the bigger threads. See, I'll pull it back so you can see it in adjacent to. You can see where it got tapped. Right there. The helicoil was put in. And the helicoil reduces it down to the spark plug size. And that's how it looks coming through. To avoid that from happening, to have to repair a head like that, it's real simple. Torque the spark plugs. Get rid of these ones. Go with the black ones. Torque them down to 18 to 22 foot-pounds. Anywhere in between there. You can go 20 pounds, you can go 21 pounds, you can go 19 pounds. Just torque your spark plugs. Save yourself the aggravation of helicoil on a head. This one right here was done a long time ago, so I didn't have to do it. I was going to try to show you what a helicoil is, but I'm out of them currently. So, with that said, I wasn't able to show you what one looks like, but I have a pretty cool treat for you guys. If you guys find an old bike, and as you guys know, I find some old bikes. I found an old Champion spark plug. See if you can see this thing. It's an oldie. Okay. This is an L89CM. Okay. This came out of an MC1. See if I can blow it up here a little bit. So it's not focusing in properly. L89CM. See how bad it is. But you want to see the cool thing about the spark plug? It's got the motorcycle printed on it. That's how they used to do Champion plugs back in the day. This in the 70s. The dirt bike on it. Champion L89CM. This basically was a universal plug. You'd match up your thread depth, and then you pop that in your bike. And fit hundreds of bikes. It's pretty cool. I figured I'd show it to you guys. So I can't close down the video here. Let's see if I can shrink it. Here we go. So yeah, it's got a motorcycle on it. Thought it was pretty cool. L89CM. The plug is junk, but I kept it for the what do you call it there? The old, I mean, it still sparks. Could use it as a spark tool, but pretty cool. I figured I'd show it to you guys. And basically, your thread tabs, you can get long ones, short ones. Whenever you buy a helicoil kit, these things run about 20 bucks at the pot store. And they're really easy to do. Just follow the instructions. This right here screws into where the spark plug threads originally went into. It expands them up to here. And then, once you go all the way through, then you're going to go ahead and put a helicoil on it. It just basically looks like a round circle with a bunch of threads on it. And then it screws right into, where it was. And then you tap it down, and it doesn't go anywhere. And it's a permanent fix. However, it doesn't have to result in that. And you can't do it, you can't put a helicoil in with the head on. You have to pull it off, because if you do it with the head on, all the metal shavings from tapping it are going to go into your cylinder, and when you start your engine up, you're going to be doing major engine damage. So just something, something to keep in mind. I was hoping I had one. I looked high and low, far and wide. I couldn't find one. It's a pretty cool kit, like I said, and it normally comes with an assortment of what do you call it there? An assortment of what do you call it there? Different length helicoils. So remember, torque wrench, use a what do you call it there? A spark plug socket that has the rubber installed in it. Okay, and if you don't have one with the rubber installed on it, don't use it. Spend the money, go buy one. It's going to save you a lot of aggravation. And I don't have any with me at the moment. It's outside in the shed. But you can use either, I use Never Sees on them, like a little dot of Never Sees, or you can just put just a dab of grease on the threads when you put it together. What that does is it makes it so they don't corrode together, and you'll be able to get the spark plug out. So that's not a good thing to have. Yeah, I'm bumming on that one. I was hoping to show you a helicoidal, but I don't have a helicoidal. But if you look them up, it's called a helicoidal, and if you strip out your head, that's what the fix is. So remember, whenever you do stuff, use a torque wrench. Torque your spark plugs down 18 to 22 foot-pounds, either or, anywhere in between. Don't over tighten them, because then you're gonna have to repair your threads. If the plug continuously turns, then you have officially stripped out your cylinder head and need to use a helicoidal. And 18 to 22 foot-pounds is not a lot. It's not really that tight, believe it or not. I see people on the bike. You don't need to do that with a spark plug. It's just a spark plug. Put it until it tightens down. It's like no tighter than a drain plug. You know, tighten it down, snug it, off you go. If you're going to do it by hand, what I do, if you don't have a torque wrench, okay, here's how you tighten a spark plug. Put it in, okay. Let me see. Pretend there's a socket on here. It's on here, okay. You can go like that, just a little snug. That's it. That's all you need to do. Don't go a quarter turn. Just put it in all the way until it seats in by hand, and just snug it until it's like an eighth of a turn, like this. From we'll say was it 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Okay, so be 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. Okay, so just go to 4 o'clock, from 3 to 4. And that should be plenty tight enough. You don't need to monkey it. Okay, don't gorilla tighten it. Take your time. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys for this video right here. I just want to talk to you guys about spark plugs and not to over tighten them. And if you have the spark plugs with the blue writing, throw them away. They're no good. Get yourself a non-resistor plug, and then you should be good to go. Okay? And basically, say you have a resistor plug. Let me show you this, okay? Say, see if this is a BR9ES. Just get rid of the letter R. So, when you go to the parts store, this is a 9ES, okay? A BR9ES. You're just going to ask for a B9ES. Just get rid of the R. The R in the writing is resistor, okay? And that may not be the same for all the other brands. I use NGK. That's what the bike was designed with, and that's what I use, and it's a great plug. But if you see the letter R, just get rid of the letter R and go B9ES. But you need a B8ES. If your bike tend to run hot, go with a B7ES. Basically, the ES is the depth. It shows you the, like I'll show you. Let's see if I can have a good example. Yep, right here. See if I have a B7ES. HS, okay. Oh, yeah, right here. Okay, so right here, on this hand, I don't know if you can see it or not, B6HS and a B7HS. They look exactly the same, but the heat range is different. The B6 is a cooler plug, The B7 is a hotter plug. Okay? So if your bike is running at that cusp of temperature, try dropping it down a little bit before you rejet. You might find yourself that took care of it. Okay? If you need a hotter plug, go to B8HS. Okay, they go up. So you're not stuck with that's the only plug. You have options. Okay? And then the mate on the resistor one would be the BZ7HS. See what I'm saying? The same plug, just that this one's a resistor. Dump it in a thing of gasoline, set it on fire, kick it down a hill. It's junk. Okay? So those are your options right there. So whatever plug it is on NGK, if it's got the letter R, just buy the same spark plug without the letter R. So when you tell the parts guy, say I need a B6HS, not a BR6HS. You follow me? And that's pretty much it. So that's all I got for you. And thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this helps you out. Remember, use the proper tools. Do it the proper way. Do it once. Okay? You don't want to have to go ahead and retap cylinder heads and install helicoils and take your whole cylinder head off your bike before you do that. That's just a pain in the neck. And it's just a waste of your time when you could have done it right the first time by using a proper spark plug socket and a torque wrench and tighten them down properly. Alright? So that's all I got for you guys for tech tips tonight. And thank you for watching. And we'll be back on something else tomorrow night.